Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, Brian Neiman, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority. 105.9 FM, AM 630. WMAL.
Welcome to the 8 o'clock hour of the Morning Majority on 105.9 FM and AM 630 WMAL. We'll go straight to our first guest, Ron Paul, of course, running for the Republican nomination for the presidency, a Republican from the state of Texas, a member of Congress, a doctor, man who has a very intense following. If you look at the Fox News poll, he is polling about 6% of the Republican vote right now. If there were to be a ballot of all nominees or candidates in the current field. But if you look at a CNN poll that was recently taken, and it pits Obama against Ron Paul, Obama wins by only 4%. Ron Paul is on the line now. Dr. Paul, do you think you're getting the due coverage that your campaign deserves, given that CNN poll?
Well, obviously not, because so many others have made fun of the lack of accurate coverage, of the campaign. But it's probably nothing brand new, and I'm not totally surprised. But thank goodness for alternative media like the internet and others. Our message still gets out. So sometimes I just have to grin and bear it. But I'm really quite pleased with the way things are going. Well,
but the Fox News poll does show you like 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth in the pack.
Well, that is so distorted from the last 20 polls. They even Fox had admitted I was in third place when we had our last debate. They placed me in the third position, and that poll is probably the
well. It was taken after the last Republican debate in which Herman Cain did pretty well, and he has surged quite a bit. What do you think about all that?
Well, but time will tell.
Hey, Congressman Paul, neoconservatives always blast you for your foreign policy. I'm curious, if you became the President of the United States, what would you do? Would you pull troops out of Afghanistan and Iraq right away?
Sure. I mean, they've been there 10 years. We've wasted so much energy and life and money. I mean, we've lost 8,500 Americans, 40,000 severe injury, hundreds of thousands of people that are begging and pleading for help from the Veterans Administration. There is no point where you can say we won the war. This pretense that everything is wonderful in Iraq and that we're going to soon win in Afghanistan. The troops know this. This is why I get more money from active military people than all the other candidates put together. They're sick and tired of it. The people are sick and tired of it, and there's no end in sight. The only way is for us to come up with a sensible foreign policy and bring our troops home.
Would it be a slow withdrawal, or would you just say they're done, coming home right away?
No, there'd be no purpose in being slow. I mean, just come home. I mean, we rushed in. We should just quit,
right.
Because if it's a stupid policy, if a doctor's giving a treatment that's wrong and it's making the patient sicker, you don't slowly withdraw your bad treatment. You stop it and you do something else. So this has not been good for us. We are probably in a lot worse shape than we were 10 years ago because of what we have done in these last 10 years.
Do you think we're making things worse? Are we creating more terrorists?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just think of how many hundreds and hundreds of drones that we have, and they're planning to place drones all around the world. And the goal, the pretense is that, we use a drone because we know when there's one leader, we're going to kill him. And then they drop it in there, and about 10 innocent people get killed. I mean, what would happen if somebody was doing that to us? I mean, would we be annoyed? I think we should have a practice the golden rule when it comes to foreign policy. We shouldn't be doing anything to anybody else that we would be annoyed with if they did it to us.
Does it concern you at all that Iran is trying to get a nuclear weapon?
Sure.
And would you do anything to try and stop that from happening, or would you say, hey, if they get it, they get it?
I'd treat them differently. They have a tremendous incentive to have a nuclear weapon because we punish them. We don't allow people to trade with them. We freeze their accounts, and they suffer from it. And we surround them. We have ships all around them, and there's about 6 countries that have nuclear weapons. So why wouldn't they want to have one? But there's been no proof that they're even working on one. The UN has not shown it, nor has the CIA. And everybody said, well, they probably want one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they probably do. But even if they end up with one weapon, what's that compared to the Soviets having 30,000 of them? And we talked to the Soviets, and and the Cold War ended. So this whole idea that we should be so anxious to start another war. We're involved in 6 countries already, and people want to go to war against the Iranians.
Congressman, you said this isn't actually about war. Your answer about Iran in another debate was that even sanctions was not something that you were willing to consider. As a man who cares about freedom, and I do too, I wonder, at what point is it worth fighting against somebody who would rob everyone of their freedom? I mean, one of the justifications Iran makes for having a bomb, one of the reasons they might reasonably want to have it, is that so they can obliterate an entire country in Israel.
Everything you said is a presumption, and
they've actually said that.
That means you think they might someday want to do this, and what you want to do is translate that into saying that we must accept the idea of aggression. We must start the wars. This is a horrible policy that we as Americans now start wars. In the past, we would.
Well, wait a minute. I mean,
wars, but we haven't won a war since World War II.
Really?
Which one did we win? Oh yeah, Grenada.
Let me but hold it a minute. Your position is that given the fact that Iran has said that they are in favor of the complete destruction of Israel, and they get a nuclear weapon, and you're the president of the United States, and you're not going to do anything about it?
No, I think you're misinterpreting that quote, and if you want to be more journalistic, you go back and read the people who quote that. But what about a Khrushchev coming over here in our country and saying, we will bury you, and he was capable of doing it. But did we then say, well, boy, he's going to bury us, so we have to bomb Moscow? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to do that. But defend ourselves, certainly, if anybody wants to attack us. But it's no different than us going against Iraq. What was the justification for going into Iraq? No weapons of mass destruction, no Al-Qaeda, and that was planned way before 9/11. And look at what we've lost. I care about the people. Why does the military send me the money and not the other candidates? Because they're sick and tired of it, and they know it's a fruitless war.
But by the same token, you said sanctions lead to war, and therefore sanctions are off the table. Why not try sanctions? You're just making an assumption that it leads to war. Are you not?
No, that's historic. Everybody's argued that case. The founders taught.
Well, it's fairly historic that when crazy people say they want to blow up Israel and Jews, they do.
Well, there's a lot of crazy people. Do you think Stalin was not a crazy person? What do? We were his ally.
So you can't think of any situation in which
where anything be worse than that? Why were we an ally of Stalin?
You can think of no situation where the United States militarily should act preemptively?
No, we have
never.
Reason.
No circumstance whatsoever.
There's an imminent attack. That's different. An imminent attack is different than scaring the people into invading Iraq and suffering the way we have. In yes, they have to. If there's an imminent attack, but there is no imminent attack. This is all war propaganda. And how can anybody think that our policy ought to be that we go to war with the Iranians? And this is what your argument is.
I'm saying that if they get a nuclear weapon, and they seriously have said time and time again that they would like to see the destruction of Israel. Israel is an ally.
What I suggest, if you want to be an honest person, you go back.
Well, I think I can find you about 15 examples of that where that has been said by reliable people, high-ranking people inside Israel, inside Iran.
I'm not going to argue with you, but it's nothing compared to Khrushchev saying he would bury us. Now, how can you justify going to war? The Iranians can't even make enough gasoline for themselves, and you're willing to go to war because they're going to attack us? I mean,
I asked you about sanctions, not war.
It's going to be devastating when you find out what happens when we attack the Iranians. I mean, it is going to spread the war. You're looking for a world war.
All right, Congressman Paul, we're out of time. We appreciate you coming on the show. I didn't want to get into all about Iran and foreign policy, but it just kind of the way it went.
Yeah, I know.
All right, thank you. We'll talk to you again.
Big deal.